welcome to Spartans Sports Central. Throughout the year, we'll be featuring various Stafford High School athletic teams. Today, you'll hear from Stafford High School football coach Ron Counter and Stafford High volleyball coach Melissa Hoffmann. You'll meet Desmond Mathis, a star receiver for the Spartans football team. Without further ado, we welcome Ron Counter. Spartans are a remarkable 17-5 on the road under Coach Counter, and they're coming off a big win over Brazosport. Congratulations on the win, Coach.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, well, it was a 69-8 win. You guys tied the school record for points in a game, and it was a really big night for James Brown out there. Talk about that.
Yeah, James had a great game. Cameron Montgomery went out with a little injury, so James got all the carries and just really shined the other night.
And you guys can really rely on, both of those guys on different, whether one of them's playing or both, or, just one of them, then you're doing well.
It's a great 1-2 punch, and sometimes we have only one of them on the field. Sometimes both are in the backfield at the same time, so they're a dangerous combination.
532 yards of total offense, and you had Walter White is really multi-dimensional. He's got 21 touchdown passes, only 3 interceptions. Talk about him out there.
It's just phenomenal the way Walter's played this year. He's just been fantastic. Every game, he's had good games or great games, and just only a junior, so there's more to come from Walter.
Okay, and then when you were facing Brazosport, Amir King entered the game as the #1 rusher in the district. You guys, for the most part, limited his production.
Yes, he's a special back. He makes plays on his own. Even when his offensive line doesn't block well, he still is very dangerous. He can break tackles, great speed, good moves. He's a very good running back.
Okay, and I know penalties were a concern. You talked to the kids after the game about, hey, let's limit these penalties because we may have close games where they may matter more.
Yeah, it kind of got a little ugly there in the second half with some of the penalties, some of the personal fouls, and I'm sure their kids were a little bit frustrated, and Coach Rudolph called his team up to talk to them about that, and I talked to our players after the game about that regardless of the score, we want to play clean.
Okay, great. And you were up 48-0 at halftime, and you had a chance to get the backups involved, get them some playing time. Talk about how important that was.
Yes, we played the starters the first series in the second half, and then started subbing in, and so it's really great when those guys that are backups that come to practice every day, every week, and sometimes they don't get an opportunity to play in tight ball games, but everybody obviously got to play the other night.
Okay, and you guys really, pride yourselves on defense, and I know you had one shutout this year and probably 3 or 4 other games you had a chance to get a shutout and didn't. How important is it to get that shutout?
Well, it is, but at the same time, like I just said, we want to make sure all the players get to play. We're not just, some teams you see, they still have their starters in the fourth quarter on offense or defense. We're not trying to run the score up on anybody on offense, and on defense, we're going to put the backups in, and we want to keep the shutout, but if they score, they score. But we're not just going to keep the first team in or put them back in when the ball gets across the 50-yard line or anything like that.
Okay, and one of the other things that Stafford prides itself on is academics. We recently got 16 distinctions from the Texas Education Agency, which was a big deal for us. But on this football team, and as well as all the other athletic teams, the athletes seem to really take care of business in the classroom too.
Oh, absolutely. And, a lot of people don't realize that the more sports you play, usually the better grades you have, or the more activities you're involved in, whether that's band or debate or sports, it really doesn't matter. But it helps the young people, or the young students, to manage their time better.
Okay, great. As far as your receivers, you really got a lot of them involved in this game throughout the game. Just talk about their production.
Yeah, we might have lost one to an injury, Kenneth Bodwin, and in fact we're probably going to move up a JV receiver who's been playing really well. But we're trying to spread the ball around, even though Hez has caught a lot of passes the last few weeks. But if they're going to single cover Hez or any of our receivers, we're going to try to get the ball to them.
Okay, and then speaking of, you just talked about JV and freshmen are both doing outstanding. Do you feel optimistic about the future of the program with those teams doing as well as they are?
Absolutely, and I'll tell you one thing I was telling somebody the other day, our numbers are really up. I think when I got to Stafford a few years ago, we had about 90 football players, and now we're up to about 130. So we were trying to get, over 100 when we got here, and it got up to 110 and 120 last year, and now it's up to 130. So yeah, our freshmen are doing really well. They're going to have a big test this week because Sealy's freshmen are undefeated and have been beating everybody pretty soundly, 35-0 pretty much every week. And our JV, again, has got a winning record, and they're doing well also.
Okay, so that game will be in Sealy on Thursday night then?
Correct.
So that's worth the road trip to Sealy to see a...
I'll be making that road trip,
Okay.
to watch our freshmen and our JV play.
Great, great. And then talk about the lines. They're both playing really well as far as your offensive and defensive lines.
Yeah, and I tell you, the great thing on defense is we got some depth. We play some of the second team or backup guys even in the first half. We don't wait to sub them. We're not quite as deep on the offensive line as we are on the defensive line, but our offensive line has played great all year and run blocking and pass blocking. So we're pretty balanced on offense, and obviously the offensive line is a big part of that.
Okay, and then the special teams as well, the punting, the kicking, they're both doing really well.
Yep, Stone's having a good year punting. We haven't punted that much because we've been scoring a lot of points, and kind of the same thing with kickoff return. We haven't had too many opportunities to return kicks, but our kickoff coverage has improved over the year, and we've had a couple different kickers during the season, and actually one of them pulled a hamstring last week, so we might have to move the freshman back up. But of all three of them at times have been doing good, and Kervin Bonilla kicked very well the other night. Okay, so if this means your win the other night means the 5th consecutive trip to the playoffs. What does that mean for Stafford? Well, that's great, and I talked to the players about that the other day. We're not just looking for 1 year or 2 years, or when you're talking about tradition and what they've done, especially this senior class, the last 3 or 4 years, it's pretty special. They've won a lot of games and obviously made the playoffs every year. But again, our ultimate goal is to make a playoff run, and not to just make the playoffs or be happy with making the playoffs, but win hopefully 2, 3, 4 games, 5, who knows, in the playoffs. All right, thanks, Coach. All right, Mike, thank you. Next up is Coach Melissa Hoffmann with the Stafford Volleyball team.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Dad, we need to talk. If you're not gonna listen to me, who will you listen to?
Jeffrey!
Is that Marcia Gay Harden?
I think so.
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain is changing.
That's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age.
Really?
Whoa! Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
A smile. It can show how we feel. It can change the course of our lives. But what would life be like if you weren't able to smile? It doesn't have to be this way. Since 1999, Smile Train has been helping children experience the simple joy of a smile. To learn more, call or go online now.
Coach Melissa Hoffmann is in her 4th year with the program. Last season, 3 members of the team either signed or committed to Division I universities. The Lady Spartans finished 2nd out of 16 schools in the Stafford tournament, and they regularly challenged larger opponents. Thank you for being with us today, Coach Hoffmann.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, so your regular season is kind of winding down here. You have 3 games left. I know 2 after this show airs. So let's talk, first of all, about your trip to Belleville coming up on Friday night.
Actually, it's a home game at Stafford High School this Friday. Due to football and homecoming, we switched sites.
Okay.
So I guess we need to make everybody aware of that adjustment. But it's going to be a big game for us. We're kind of not where we would like to be in district results. We're in 5th place right now, so a win against Belleville, which is something I think we can do, would really help us out as far as playoffs are concerned.
And how important is it for you guys to get into the playoffs?
Very important. This is my 4th year here, and we've made playoffs every year. It's an expectation of mine and the team, but these girls that are seniors have been here since I got here, and we've gone year after year after year. So the expectation is there that we go to playoffs and nothing less.
Now you have 3 seniors in this program. Talk about what they've meant to the program and how special it'll be for them to, play these last few games.
It's very important for them to play it because, like I said, my first year here they were freshmen, and they had a good season as freshmen on the freshman team together. So now to see them grow up and progress to JV and then to varsity and be a part of our playoff teams in the past, it's a good thing for them, to be seniors now and hopefully make it their senior year. We have 3 seniors, Brenda Emarinazor, Cheyenne Hill-Johnson, and Chloe Scretchen. And all 3 of them play solid roles in our team this year.
Okay, so what do you know about Belleville and about Sealy? I know Belleville, you said, will be 5 p.m. on Friday at home, and then Sealy will be Tuesday the 25th at 7 p.m.
Yes.
What can you tell me about those 2 opponents?
Belleville is usually very well coached and very well disciplined, and they kind of just wear you down. When we played them at home, it started off as a very balanced game, and they slowly just pulled away from us, and we couldn't. We had problems on serve receive. Offensively and defensively, we were playing them pretty straight up, but on serve receive is where we struggled. So we've taken some steps to work on that since then, and we hope to be better prepared.
Okay. And Sealy?
Sealy, we played them very well when we played Sealy at home at their place, and we look to giving them a little bit more competition at home as well. And it's a very important game for us. A win that game could possibly put us in a tie for 4th place and give us an option or an opportunity to make playoffs.
All right, we talked about, with Coach Counter about the importance of academics throughout the district, and I know your kids are really strong academically. Just talk about, how you emphasize that and the importance of it.
We do periodic grade checks, and each coach follows up with the players on their team throughout the season and throughout the 6 weeks. So we very rarely lose anybody to grades, and we have a lot of kids that make the academic all-district team. So grades is definitely something that we focus on a lot.
Okay, great. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good.
Next up is a feature on Stafford wide receiver Desmond Mathis.
I believe in you. Just 4 simple words. But to a child in need, they mean the world. When you support a child through Save the Children, you're saying, I believe in you. You're worthy of good nutrition, quality health care, and education. I believe in you. Just 4 simple words that can bring hope, that can change a life. Visit sponsor.savethechildren.org/believe today and tell a child in need, I believe in you.
Some places have the power to transform us, connect us, move us. This is the power of place, the power of parks and open spaces to improve cities, communities, and ourselves. This is the work of the Trust for Public Land, putting open space within reach of every person in America. Help us create the power of place and healthier, happier communities nationwide.
We all play a role in keeping our community safe.
Every day, we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good, others not so much.
But that's life.
It's when something doesn't seem quite right that it's time to pay attention.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
What could you lose in a home fire? Your possessions? Your home? Your memories? Don't let your world go up in smoke. Make sure you have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones, because fire is everyone's fight.
Desmond Mathis is an exceptional student athlete and has represented the Spartans well on and off the field. SMETV took some time to spotlight Mathis. We hope you'll enjoy watching this segment as much as we did putting it together.
The Spartans have been having a very good year, and that is thanks to players like Desmond Mathis, a receiver who is also a very cool customer.
We're the player that runs the routes and catch the passes from the quarterback.
Desmond also brings to his game the sort of quiet confidence that comes from lots of practice and experience.
I've been playing football since second grade, playing with the Cobras. Yeah, and that's where I started. And I've been at Stafford ever since second grade, so yeah. I was undefeated since 7th grade, and I took my first loss my sophomore year.
Desmond's had a great career. You know, he's a very good football player and a very good basketball player. So he's our point guard on the basketball team, and he's very smooth. He's very smooth on the basketball court and on the football field. Well, at receiver, he's very good at inside slot receiver. He's very good at getting open, and he's got very good hands, and so we just try to get him the ball in space, kind of in the middle of the field. So we've got inside receivers and outside receivers, and he's our best inside receiver.
I think I bring experience, knowledge, a little bit of speed, and precise routes.
Yeah, he really doesn't have that many receptions because we're very good on offense this year, so we're trying to spread the ball around. So we've got 4 good receivers. He's one of those 4, and we also have 2 good running backs, and the quarterback can run and throw. So only one guy can get the ball every play. So if we weren't so talented or so deep at receiver, then maybe he'd have more receptions. But that's part of being a good teammate, and he understands, and all the guys have been doing a good job of understanding that we've got to spread the ball around.
I mean, our goal is we take it week by week. And our first goal is to win the district championship for the second year. We'll defend our title. And second goal is just to get past the second round, and whatever happens after that happens.
As a senior, Desmond is also planning for life after high school, attending business management classes, and of course, looking for that ideal college.
Right now, I'm just trying to perform at my highest to hopefully receive a scholarship to a school, and hopefully it's multiple offers so I can have a choice. And that's about it. I applied to a couple colleges. I mean, just for a school that I like and that has my major, that's gonna let me go and play football and get my education for free.
Just a good all-around athlete and a good teammate, and we're going to miss him. He's part of this great senior class that we have, and we're going to miss all these guys.
For Spartans Sports Central, This is Randall Williams.
Up next, we'll talk to Coach Counter about the Spartans' next opponent, Sealy High School.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Everywhere that we go, he makes people laugh and makes people smile, and I feel like I have that quality.
He's the one who always takes me fishing.
I watch golf with him. And
I watch him cook, because when I grow up, I want to be a cook too.
We have the same faces like this.
Dad is the one, when you fall, that picks you up.
That unconditional sense of presence and reassurance is really what makes him my father.
Everyone deserves a decent place to live.
Everyone.
When a future homeowner partners with Habitat for Humanity to build or improve a home, they build a better future for themselves and their families.
For my family.
For my family.
For my family.
With a little help, we all have the potential to stand on our own.
Potential.
Potential.
Visit Habitat.org to provide help to families like these today.
What's going on? Is this real? Where do I go? What do I do? Who do I talk to? I'm losing my breath.
Before you go here, go here. Know the facts first.
Welcome back. 27 football seniors have spent 4 years working toward the ultimate goal for Stafford High football. On Friday night, they'll play their last regular season home game of their careers. The opponent is Sealy High. When this group of seniors were sophomores, they defeated Sealy in the first round of the playoffs, but the Spartans have never taken an opponent lightly, and they'll be ready for Sealy. Welcome back, Coach.
Thank you, Matt.
Great. So this being the final regular season home game, I know you had senior night earlier in the season, but what does this mean to have this final regular season home game?
Well, this senior class is the best ever at Stafford. All the games they've won the last 3 years. Again, about 10 of them started as sophomores on the varsity, so I don't know if anybody's going to be able to match this class again because they've been a tremendous class.
So for the folks watching at home, Friday is also cheer night, which means the cheerleaders get to have the younger kids come out and cheer on the field with them. I know you'll be focused on a game, but how important is that for just the Stafford community and athletic program to have something like that?
Oh, it's great. And then not besides the little girls cheering, we also have the little boys that'll come run through the tunnel with the football players before the game. And again, I don't get to see the little girls cheer at halftime, but I know that's awesome.
Okay, great. And Sealy has a proud football tradition. I know you're well aware of that. How happy are you to not have Eric Dickerson in the backfield to have to face him on Friday night?
Yeah, or the receiver that's playing up at A&M right now.
Yeah,
Sealy does have a great football tradition, and Coach Holcomb's doing a good job there and trying to get them rolling again. And they've lost a couple of close games this year, but they've also beat some very good teams. Their opening game, they beat Wharton 28-7. I believe Wharton's 5-2 right now, going to be a playoff team. So they've had a tough schedule.
So what kind of challenges does Sealy pose for you?
Well, their best player is number 14. He plays receiver and defensive back. He's a junior, and they also put him back in the shotgun sometimes and let him carry the ball in that wildcat type formation. So, and they're very good on defense, and they blitz a lot. So they'll be a challenge for us.
Okay. So on Thursday, you guys have something special. You have Under Armour is coming out to honor Hezekiah Jones, of course, committed to A&M. He's an Under Armour All-American. That game's going to be played on New Year's Day in Orlando, Florida. How special is that for the program to have someone like Under Armour come out and honor Hez?
Absolutely, and again, it says something about our whole program and the attention that the school and the football team is bringing. I'm sure this is the first time that Stafford's ever had a player get this achievement or this honor. And again, Hez understands without his teammates, this wouldn't be possible. And he doesn't catch all those touchdown passes by himself. Walter throws the ball to him, and the line protects. And football is an ultimate team sport, so we'll get everybody in there to help Hez celebrate.
Okay, so have you seen any teams blitz as much as Sealy is going to blitz this week?
Probably not. Brazosport did blitz a little bit last week, but Sealy, that's just kind of their bread and butter. It's what they do. They're very aggressive on defense.
Okay. Now the poll came out this week. You guys moved up one spot, number 8 to number 7 in the Dave Campbell's Texas football. And then El Campo, with their win over Sealy, they moved up to number 3. I know you're like a take it, game by game type of guy, but everyone, outside of your locker room is talking about, the Stafford El Campo game. How do you, kind of sequester all that talk and make sure that you don't look forward to that game?
Yeah, that'll be tough. I mean, some people will be looking ahead, but again, that's our job to stay focused and just concentrate on Sealy this week, and then we'll worry about El Campo next week.
Have you had a chance to watch any of the film from Sealy and El Campo?
Yes, actually, we got a lot of film or video on Sealy, and El Campo is one of those games. And actually, Sealy played him pretty good the first half. It was only 9-0 at halftime, El Campo, and then El Campo pulled away, had a couple big plays in the second half. So the final score was a little misleading. The game was a little closer than the score, and that's kind of what El Campo's been doing this year, pulling away from people in the second half.
Okay, so with El Campo having their bye week, is the whole town of El Campo going to be at our game this week, checking us out?
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm sure some of the coaches will definitely be here.
Okay.
I'm sure some of the El Campo coaches will drive down or up and watch the game.
Okay. Now, as far as offensively, do you feel like you guys will be pretty balanced again in this game against Sealy?
Yeah, we just tell the kids all the time we're just going to take what the defense gives us. If they play soft coverage and what a lot of people call cover 2, 2 high safeties, and we're going to run the ball more. If they're more aggressive, only have one safety or no safety, and they blitz more, the more people they put close to the line of scrimmage, the more we're going to throw the ball. So, again, we really don't care if we run it or throw it. And we tell the kids we don't care how many yards the running backs have rushing or how many touchdown passes the receivers catch. We're just going to do whatever the defense gives us. We're going to take it.
And then some of these seniors were on the team 2 years ago when you beat Sealy in the playoffs, right?
Correct.
Okay. So I know that game was a couple years ago. Did Sealy have any of the same kids back then?
They actually do. Number 8 was a sophomore safety for us that played really good, and he's a returning all-district safety for him from last year, and he's the only starter back from that game 2 years ago. But they did have a few sophomores on that team that are now seniors.
Okay, and then the JV game you mentioned, they're undefeated. Sealy's undefeated.
They're freshmen.
Their freshmen
are undefeated and have been beating everybody pretty soundly. 35-42 to nothing. It seems like every week. They beat El Campo's freshmen last week. I think 28-0 or something like that. So this will be a big test for our freshmen.
So this is fair to say it could be a sneak preview for varsity in a few years?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't really know that much about Sealy's sub-varsity, but obviously their freshmen are pretty good.
Okay. And then how do you, with their proud tradition and everything, how do you make sure the kids know that they're playing this year's Sealy's team instead of just like the, aura and mystique of that, their 5 state championships, everything like that? Yeah,
that was so long ago. That doesn't mean anything to the kids, and we don't even bring that up. Some of them may not even know who Eric Dickerson is, yeah, we don't talk about that. That's all in the past.
Okay, great. So we're looking forward to the future. Friday night, 7:30 p.m., Spartan Stadium. All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it, too.
Thank you for joining us, folks, and we look forward to seeing you 3 weeks from now for a football playoff preview and basketball season previews.
This program was produced on the Stafford campus of Houston Community College.
Maybe he's really focused.
Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today